Hello YouTube, this is Rugged Savior, giving you some more gameplay and commentary, and this is really old gameplay. Not just because of the game itself, but because of the date. This was recorded back in January 27, 2010, over 3 years ago, and I remember this is like during the first few months of the life cycle of Modern Warfare 2, and I remember, oh man, this game was so great back in the day when this first came out, because everything about this game in regards to improving everything was just immense over Call of Duty 4. I mean, there were more weapons, there were more like improvements to graphics because they had a new engine back in the day. What else? Pro perks, kill streaks, and a bunch of other things. Now, some people still label this as the best Call of Duty in their opinion, but I still label it as the worst. But back in the day, everything was completely new, so that shine wasn't wearing off yet. So I was still dazzled by the whole spectacle that this multiplayer experience provided. And you see me right here using the AUG H-bar. I call it the honeycomb because every single time I put desert camouflage on it, it just reminded me of the cereal and that weird little fuzzy animal that goes, "Me want honeycomb!" I used to love that. And this weapon was such a beast weapon, by the way. It was like the damage was just immense and the accuracy was high. I mean, yeah, the rate of fire and the shallow magazine were kind of downers about this weapon, but who cared about that? But in this gameplay, I actually did get a tactical nuke because the only time I would actually get nukes is in team deathmatch, because that was the only game type I pretty much played. I never played any other objective mode, and I was never really the actual player that I was now back then. Because right now, I was back like in this gameplay specifically, I was the kind of player who didn't really equip stingers or whatever. I would equip an AUG and I would just equip a sidearm or something like that. I would never really shoot down anything. If I throw down a care package, I would never share it. And if I did play the objective, I wouldn't really go for all 3 flags and domination back then because, I don't know, it was just weird how I did things back then. But over time, late in the life cycle of Modern Warfare 2, I started to develop my character in regards to helping the team, such as shooting down air support and actually going for objectives constantly. But yeah, I remember a long time ago how, like, over time I began to realize the overpowered features of this game. I remember I hated the shotguns and secondaries. Now, at first I thought the whole idea of shotguns being secondary weapons was great because in Call of Duty 4 and World at War you only had 2 shotguns anyway, and they were very, very, very underused, so I figured, why not? But then over time, when this game came out, there were so many shotguns and they were so powerful, and eventually I just began to realize, you know what, I don't think that was such a great idea after all. And, man. Oh, speaking of not a good idea, I remember when the tactical nuke was first unleashed on YouTube. Before the game was actually released, some people got the game early, and they uploaded footage of this new kill streak. And I thought to myself, what kill streak is this? I was at work one day, and I was looking on my phone, I was looking up some YouTube videos, and all of a sudden I see this video that says tactical nuke. And I'm like, what is a tactical nuke? And I watched it, and I told my friend at work, and he was like, and it just ends the game. If you call on a nuke and you get 25 kills in a row, you just end the game. You win no matter what. And he's like, what? So that was the major focus back in the day when I used to play Team Deathmatch, just trying to get a nuke as much as I could. Because as you can see here, I had a Harrier, and eventually I get a chopper gunner, and I get the nuke, and there you go, the game's pretty much over. But, man, I'll tell you what, when I look at some of the old footage of myself playing the games back in the day, man, my style was completely different. My sensitivity was a lot lower. Nowadays, as of current, I think I play with a 6 or 7 in regards to Modern Warfare 2 anyway. Now in Black Ops 2, I think I support a 10 or 11 sensitivity, but back in this game, that would be a 6. But I used to play on 2 sensitivity in Modern Warfare 2, and so on and so on. I only actually increased my sensitivity back in Modern Warfare 3 because I needed to look around my corners, but eventually I just got used to it. I don't know why I didn't get used to higher sensitivity earlier. I just felt as though it was just a comfort zone for me to play, but I never realized how much of an impact it would have to increase the sensitivity, because now I could turn around quicker and check my corners and blah blah blah. But anyway, oh man, this game, I remember things started going downhill with this game. Not only was I realizing how many overpowered things were featured into this title, but I remember when hacking became rampant because West and Zambella had their fiasco with Activision. Like, they got fired because I remember the story. Like, everyone was getting worried because all these security guards popped up, and the next thing you know, the 2 lead designers of the game were fired. Supposedly, I didn't really know the whole story, but supposedly they were rubbing elbows with EA But their absence left the game exposed, and that led to a lot of hackers and stuff, like infection mods. You can call in the chopper gunner and not even have to aim with it, and it would kill everything in its path. People would actually knife you from across the map. Yes, they would stab their knife into the air, and somehow, for some reason, the knife would hit you from across the map. I didn't get that. Ah, man. This game's pretty much over, but yeah, I just had to talk about the nostalgia from Modern Warfare 2. I mean, back then it was kind of fun at first, but overall, it was not my favorite Call of Duty. Multiplayer was so broken. But whatever. I guess the only time I actually play it is if there's like a community game night or whatever, but just for nostalgic reasons. But other than that, you know, you can't doubt the multiplayer improvements and all that, but ultimately the game was just broken. But anyway, so I hope you enjoy the gameplay and commentary. And I will see you all later. Thank you for watching, everybody.